They were the most powerful family in Britain yet. In 1914, they found themselves under siege, not by enemy armies, but by whispers. Whispers of betrayal, of divided loyalties, of a monarchy with roots too deep in Germany to feel truly British. The year was 1914. The world was on fire. Europe had erupted into war, and Britain stood ready to fight. But while soldiers marched and bombs fell, another battle was unfolding behind palace doors, one that would change the royal family forever. This is the story of how a king, facing a nation's anger, made a decision that would erase centuries of heritage and rewrite his family name for generations to come. It all began with a crown and a surname. At the time, the British royal family bore the German title Saxe-Coburg and Gotha, a legacy from Queen Victoria's marriage to Prince Albert. It was a name filled with history, tradition, and European prestige. But in the shadow of World War I, it became a liability. The king's cousins ruled Germany, Russia, and Greece. His wife, Queen Mary, was born a Princess of Teck herself, part German. And worst of all, the royal crest still bore the proud motto, Ich diene, I serve, written in German. Rumors spread like wildfire. Was the king secretly loyal to Germany? Did he hesitate before declaring war? Some even claimed he refused to shake hands with French diplomats. These weren't just idle talks, they were dangerous. The pressure mounted. Newspapers ran scathing editorials. Letters flooded Buckingham Palace. And inside the corridors of power, advisors whispered urgent warnings. The monarchy was losing its grip on public trust. So, on July 17, 1914, long before the first major battles of the war, King George V made a bold move, one that would shock historians, confuse genealogists, and echo through the centuries. He erased the name Saxe-Coburg and Gotha from the royal family tree and replaced it with something new, something English, something timeless. But here's where the story takes an unexpected turn. Because the king didn't just change the family name. He changed everything. Titles were stripped. German titles vanished from royal documents. Princes and princesses lost their foreign-sounding names overnight. Even distant relatives were forced to adopt anglicized surnames or risk being cut off from royal favor. One of the most dramatic changes involved Prince Louis of Battenberg, a high-ranking naval officer and great-grandson of Prince Alexander of Hesse. His name was quietly altered to Louis Mountbatten, and his children followed suit. Yes, this is where the famous Mountbatten name comes from. And perhaps the most shocking part, King George V ordered his extended family to stop using any German titles altogether, including the very word royal in some cases. It was a symbolic severing of ties with the continent, a message to the people. We are British now. Some say it was inspired by the ancient castle that had become the spiritual home of the monarchy. Others believe it was chosen because it sounded strong, rooted, and unmistakably English. What's certain is that it worked. Public opinion shifted, the monarchy survived. And today, nearly 110 years later, the House of Windsor remains a symbol of continuity, though few remember the secret war that created it. There's more to this story than just a name change. Behind the scenes, there were betrayals, broken relationships, and personal tragedies. Cousins who once dined together now fought on opposite sides of the war. Some royal families in Europe disappeared entirely. Others clung to power by the skin of their teeth. And at the center of it all stood King George V, a man who loved duty, feared scandal, and made a choice that would shape the identity of the British monarchy for generations. So next time you hear the name Windsor, remember, it wasn't always that way. It was once Saxe-Coburg and Gotha. And the reason it changed is a story far more dramatic than most people know.